Hey, everybody. It's that time again. It's drawing close to the end of the month. Actually, the end of the month is pretty much here. So it's time for us to talk a little bit about what's going to happen, what's going to go down in the month of February. So traditionally, we've called these Let's Plan. This one we will still call it Let's Plan, but pretty much the month of February is already planned out for me. That doesn't mean that I won't take suggestions for games to be played and series that you want to see. It just means that right now we're kind of in a place where everything's sort of laid out for us already for the month of February. So let's just there's a few things I want to talk about. In regard to what's going on, what's going to be going on, and just things, topics of interest in regard to the channel and me. So, if you watched the last Let's Plan that I did for the month of January, you know that my wife and I, we are relocating. We're going to be moving to an apartment that is closer to where my wife is currently going to school. She's getting her master's degree so that she can get a job. And, she already has a job, but get a, I guess you'd say, air quotes, real job? I don't know. And what is real? So, anyways, we're relocating to be closer to school, which will, it's a good thing. Anyways, so moving in like 2 weeks. The biggest question that we're going to have is, what kind of internet provider do we go with? I've done some research, and I think the speeds are going to be fine. The download, I even think the upload will probably be fine. My biggest concern that I have with the internet there is going to be bandwidth, because bandwidth caps are like a huge thing. And we consistently, where we live right now, we have like the highest tier package that you can get from our provider. It's like, oh my goodness. I want to say it's like 150 down and like 25 up or 20 up or something like that, but they only give us about 450 gigabytes a month. Well, being that we don't really watch TV, we get all of our entertainment off of the internet. We watch television programs, streaming. I'm always uploading videos and things like that, playing online games. So pretty much every month we go over our bandwidth limit. And luckily, it's not super expensive. It's like $10 for every 50 gigs you go over. However, it would be really nice if I could find a provider that would not have a bandwidth cap as such as we have here. Or if they do have a cap, one that doesn't charge. So I'm going to have to do a little more research, but I think, regardless of what happens, I'm going to continue to upload YouTube videos, but I know I've flirted with you guys and teased you guys about doing some Twitch streaming before. I'm still thinking about it. It's just, my big thing with Twitch, and I think I've mentioned this before, is that I like doing the on-demand content because it's on-demand for me too. When I want to make a video, when I feel like making a video, I make a video. And when I don't feel like making a video, well, I don't make a video. So it's nice. However, with Twitch, it's a constant thing. So, if I'm streaming, I get 45 minutes into it, I don't really feel like it. It's not like I can just up and say, well, I'm done. And if you really want to be successful, either on YouTube or Twitch, one of the things that's really, really important, especially when you first get started, is consistency. You have to have a schedule. You got to stick to your schedule. And as you can see, I have mine just like scheduled out. I always release videos at the exact same time. That way you guys know what you're getting. You can count on certain things. And I feel like if I was to get into Twitch and start streaming more, I've streamed on Twitch before. I just don't know how it would jive with, my video making. I feel like it would take away from YouTube, and YouTube is my primary thing. It's what I like doing the most. I enjoy making the YouTube videos. So, anyways, that's a bit far afield. Last I checked, we were at 250 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. We've gained about 25 this month. That's down a little bit from our average of what we've been gaining, but from what I've heard, usually January is a pretty tough month for YouTubers in terms of just getting views, new subscribers, things like that. So I guess I believe it now. This is the first January I've ever had in YouTube. You know, we just started last August, so anyways, hopefully, you know, we're gonna keep growing. I have no doubt that we'll keep growing, and whether we grow 1 subscriber or 100 subscribers, it doesn't really matter too much to me. You know, it's all about putting out good content, having a good time, and fostering a good community with you guys. So proud to have you guys with me. Let's see. Kind of just a reminder. My goal, you know, that I set for myself. I always like to set goals because I think that's, you know, a good thing to do. You want to have goals. You don't just want to be drifting about aimlessly. Was to try to get to 500 subscribers by the end of April. That's a pretty ambitious goal, and if I don't hit that, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not like I'm going to go, well, I'm done. But it's really ambitious. It's really, it's a pretty difficult and challenging goal. So you guys can help me out by liking videos, sharing videos. If you're for some reason you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And like I said, hashtag tell your friends. You know, if you've got a friend that's kind of nerdy like me or like us, you know, share it with them. Say, hey, I know a guy. He makes content. Sometimes it's funny. Usually it's not. Maybe you might enjoy it. So, okay. And this one's more of a personal note. It's kind of funny. On Steam, they just released Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13. Now, most of you are probably like, what? That sounds terrible. And for most people, it probably is terrible. It's a historical simulator by Koei, and basically you take the role of a Chinese warlord like AD 200. I love it. But it's $90, guys. It's $90. It's a computer game, and it's $90. Okay, and they don't have an English translation yet. Now, people have like data mined some info, and there are some things that are kind of pointing towards there's going to be an English translation, and if there is, then I probably will still pick it up whenever it comes out in English. However, $90. When's the last time you paid $90 for any game? And then I wanted to point out to you guys, if you guys like retro gaming, classic gaming, there are a number of titles that are going to be coming out on Steam this month, such as Tales of Symphonia, Disc G, and I think there were some other ones too that were going to come out. So kind of interesting seeing all these old-ish RPGs that are coming out on Steam. Like you know, Tales of Symphonia is a GameCube port. It's a PS3 port of a GameCube port, so it's like a grandchild. Anyways. I digress. Okay, so let's talk about the schedule for this month. Now, I already kind of told you guys that it's sort of already laid out. I don't want to go over 4 series at a time. We might, for a little while at the start of February, have 5 series. And the reason for that is on the 2nd, Crusader Kings 2 Conclave comes out. I'm desperately trying to record enough Jane Addiction content to get to our goal of becoming the Samrat Chakvartin. However, I may not get there. It's still a ways off, and since we can't do a subjugation CB, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do my best, but I'm still gonna release the Jane Addiction content one day at a time. So there may be some days at the start of February, even maybe into the middle of February, depending on how much I do record of it, where there might be 5 videos a day, which, I mean, if you like Crusader Kings 2, you're in luck. So, you know, we're going to keep making some Dwarf Fortress content in Nuts Glaze, probably for, you know, the Fortress is going pretty well. Knock on wood, we haven't really had any problems. So, you know, I could see Nuts Glaze easily going through February to March. And then what we might do at the end of February is we might retire Nuts Glaze and move on to something a little bit different. Dwarf Fortress still, we might do like a challenge type game, or we might... I've had a few people asking me about playing in adventure mode. I'm not sure how long that series would last, but maybe we might do like a week break from Fortress mode and do a little bit of adventure mode just to kind of check it out. You guys will probably laugh at my failing. So as you can see here, I put little asterisks by the things that I typed in here. What that reflects is that those are videos that have not been created yet. So like as I'm recording this right now, it is January 30th. So just pulling back the curtain a little bit, you can see that I've already got the video for the 31st recorded for Dwarf Fortress, but I don't have the video for the 1st. So tomorrow is my Dwarf Fortress recording day. So what that means is that at some point in time tomorrow, before I go to bed, I will sit down and I will record 23, 24, 25, and 26. And if for some reason I'm feeling exceptionally froggy, or if it's cliffhanger on 26, I might go into 27 or 28. It just depends. Mountain Blade is going pretty well. I've kind of learned that Mountain Blade. Well, first of all, Mountain Blade's a great game, but it's a little slow paced. The pacing's a little slow on it. It's actually a little grindy. I was kind of surprised by that, but not, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's hard to be surprised about something you really don't know. It's just compared to most games these days, it moves a lot slower. But hey, it makes it really, really worth it when something interesting happens. So here's the big change. Now you can see up until the 1st, we have Jane Addiction rolling out at 6 p.m. every day. However, starting with the 2nd, because I will be trying to drop a Conclave series down on your heads right whenever it actually comes out, Conclave will be occupying that 6 p.m. time slot. Jane Addiction will be getting pushed back to the midnight time slot. So I do apologize if that kind of like screws with any of your plans or screws with any of your routine. But I feel like that's probably, most of you are going to be very eager, like I am, to see the Conclave content anyways. So you can see I've got Conclave 1, 2, 3. I still do not know what ruler I'm going to play as. So if you have an idea of what you would like to see in Conclave, in terms of who you'd like me to control, feel free to shoot it at me. I will tell you this. I don't normally like starting in a year past, say, 1066. I liked it, the earlier the better. So, okay. Darkest Dungeon has been going really well for us. Been having a pretty good time with it. Nice little gothic horror turn-based RPG roguelike. Lots and lots of adjectives can describe this game, but it's been a great deal of fun. And so it's going to continue for the near future. And then, as you can see, we have Jane Addiction. Now, some of these you see it says "NU" next to it. What that means is it needs upload. I've already created this, and this. Geez, wow, 98, 99, 100. It would be really nice if we could wrap it up around 100, but going by what I've seen so far in these other videos, not to spoil anything for you, but there's a pretty real chance that it's going to go past 100. So, all right, so that kind of rounds out what's going to be happening in the next week, and you can sort of project that schedule out for the rest of the month, I'm thinking, unless something just dramatically changes, which I don't see. I think Conclave is pretty much set in stone. Darkest Dungeon is too, and I don't really see any reason why Dwarf Fortress or Mountain Blade will stop seeing production. So February is a pretty busy month for games. There are quite a number of good games coming out this month. It's sort of the antithesis of January, which was very bone dry and desolate. Just a few that I've decided to call out to you guys. Some of them I'm sure you already know. February 2nd, we have CK2 Conclave coming out. Super hyped about that game. Big time. It's going to be a lot of fun. February 3rd, American Truck Simulator. So if any of you ever played Euro Truck Simulator 2 or Euro Truck Simulator, this is the American version of that game made by the same publisher. I will probably be purchasing that, and there is a chance at some point, if there's enough interest, that I might do a series of that. I'm not really sure how it would play for you guys. So, but I like the game. I like the concept. So, February 5th, XCOM 2. I know quite a few people are pretty hyped about that. I'm not really big into XCOM. I don't know that you'll see me do an XCOM series, but I'll never say never. I might change my mind. February 16th, we have Street Fighter V. I'm not really a big fighter type guy, but it's a very, very popular game, so I decided to call it to your attention. And on February 26th, we have Stardew Valley, which is a kind of like an iteration of Harvest Moon, which, basically a farming relationship simulator game. Looks pretty good. I'll probably be picking that up, and that might be something we actually see getting introduced in March as a Let's Play series. So, as always, I am very eager to hear what you guys think about these games that are coming out. Is there a game I've missed? If there is something that you're hyped about that I didn't talk about, please leave it in the comments below. There is one thing that I did not write on there that's, I think the reason I didn't put it on there was because this is kind of like hazy, like it's not for sure. So Paradox is coming out with a Grand Strategy 4X set in space called Stellaris, and you may have heard me talk about it before in other videos, specifically like Crusader Kings 2. I'm pretty hyped about it, of course. I mean, I'm a big Paradox fanboy, and I also like the sci-fi type stuff. There was a leak that said that game was supposed to be hitting this month, which is kind of crazy to think about, because in this day and age, we know about games coming out like way far in advance. The publishers always hype them up. But Paradox isn't like all the other publishers. You guys know that. I know that. CK2 Conclave is a very good example. We didn't even know, of course we knew there was going to be an expansion coming out, but we didn't start learning anything about the expansion until what? Maybe a month ago? Maybe? And bam, it's coming out February 2nd. So Paradox doesn't always play by the rules in terms of like giving a really ample lead time. And we've known about Stellaris for quite a while. They're releasing dev diaries for the game. I feel like there's a chance that we could see it this month. And if that's the case, that may be something that does shuffle our schedule. Because when Stellaris comes out, this guy's going to be doing a Let's Play series. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm just so hyped about the game. So I don't know if that means that one of the series will be dropped. I would say the first series out of the rotation right now, looking at it, if we were to drop one, would be Mountain Blade. Darkest Dungeon is just too early on. I'm certainly not going to drop Crusader Kings 2 with the new expansion. And Dwarf Fortress is somewhat of like the flagship of my channel at this point. Most of you guys know me for Dwarf Fortress, so I'm not going to take that away. Or maybe I'll just run 5 series. It sounds kind of crazy. I don't know. We'll just see. I don't really want to do 5 series because doing 5 series means I have 5 videos a day that have to be recorded. Now, there are YouTube content creators who do more. Some that do 8 videos a day. But what I have seen from myself before, when I've tried to push it to 5 or 6 videos a day, I burned out. I burned out really hard, really fast, and the quality of all the rest of my videos went to shit. So I'd rather keep the quality up a little bit higher and do a little bit less. I'm sure you guys understand completely where I'm coming from. So, all right. Well, if you have watched this video up to this point, thank you guys so much for everything. I love reading your comments on my videos. You guys are my biggest source of encouragement outside of my wife. So just thanks. It's kind of hard to put it into words. And I hope that I continue to make content that you enjoy. And always feel free to hit me up in the comments under my videos, or you can, like I said, you can always add me on Steam. If you just search for like Nerdstalgic, you can probably find me. I leave my social media stuff underneath pretty much all my videos, so if you ever want to see, you can always hit up my Facebook page. I've got a Twitter, and I've just completely drawn a blank. Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. So that's pretty much all I do. I've thought about starting an Instagram, but I don't know. So I'm already really bad at Twitter, and it sounds kind of like an old person thing to say. I'm bad at Twitter, but really what I mean is I'm just like, I'm kind of like this in my head, and I know I'm rambling a little bit. That's fine. I'm sorry, but deal with it. I'm a rambler. I'm not one of these guys that like feels the need, this incessant need to just talk about everything. You know, like, this meal sure was good. Let me take a picture of it for you. No, it's just, that's not my thing. It's not really how I was raised. So when I say something, to me it means, I'm not trying to say that other people don't mean what they say. I'm just saying, like, for me, when I do say something, you know that there is some definite meaning behind it. It's not just me regurgitating things. So yeah, if you go and check out my Twitter, you'll see most of my tweets are like videos, call outs for videos and stuff. Every once in a while I will tweet out something that I think is apropos or interesting, but and I think a lot of my Twitter inactivity also has to do with the fact that my Twitter account just doesn't have a lot of follows. So when I do have people to interact with, I do interact. I mean, I know some of you guys talk to me a lot on YouTube in comments. I've gotten some personal messages from people on Facebook and on YouTube, and they can testify. I get back to you really quick. I enjoy talking to you guys. But anyways, long story short, basically, hit me up on social media if you ever want to chat about anything. It doesn't have to be game related. I like a plethora of things. I like sports, and I like music and movies to a lesser extent. I'm not really too into movies these days. So I'd rather, have a good book or play a good game or listen to a good CD, even though CDs, that's still viable media. I guess it is. Anyways, this is really, really going on a long time. It's getting a little painful for both of us probably. So thank you again, and well, I guess I'll see you in the game videos. Until then, game on.